Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Stephanie Rogers. I am the Publishing Services Manager for Digital Commons, and I will be representing the Iraqi Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research. Today, I have the honor of sharing the initiatives and the progress that the Iraq Ministry has done to elevate their publishing scholarly output into the landscape. Unfortunately, Dr. Hayder was not able to come. However, he sends his best wishes and his regards and enthusiasm for the project. Since there was so much hard work that went into this project, we have decided that we wanted to share what has transpired on their journey. All right, let's go ahead. Excellent. First, I'd like to introduce some of the dedicated team behind the project itself and this initiative's transformation. As you can see, it has taken a village. There are a lot of names and people behind here, a few that aren't even on this particular slide as well. I'd like to call out several. Dina Salah has led as the project manager for this particular multi-journal initiative. And then we have Islam as one of our strategic advisors. Amin is our second strategic advisor, although he was not here at this conference. And then we have a cadre of consultants, Ibrahim being one of them, Ahmed, Amr, and Samir, who are not here with us today at the conference. But I'm very proud to say that this is my team, the majority of whom are in the Cairo, Egypt, Elsevier office, and Amin is in Amsterdam. And then those that are not on this particular slide are our sales, compatriots, I guess you can say, Dia and Ibrahim, who have both been amazing, working beside us to really help the ministry with the large amount of different perspectives that this client needs. All right, let's go to a little broader landscape. Iraq boasts over 80 universities, both public and private. 36 of these have been earning the top rankings in the 2026 QS World University rankings. The ministry is committed to supporting research, fostering partnerships, and preparing for a sustainable research future, something that we've been hearing about a lot at this conference with our keynote speaker, and so it's really nice to see that reflected in a lot of the work that we've been doing. Yet challenges remain. Same challenges that a lot of folks have been seeing. Everything from infrastructure to funding to just publishing practices themselves. Recent efforts have been focusing heavily on the digital transformation and the international collaboration, that global village that we keep hearing about in the science research community. That's laying that solid foundation that Iraq is wanting for the growth and visibility of their science research. The overarching goal is clear: to elevate their research standards and the visibility that is getting to support sustainable growth of the Iraq scholarship and build an integrated international research ecosystem, which is a beautiful idea that I love so much. In 2023, the initial scope of the project was pretty modest, starting with 18 journals. But as you will see, this has rapidly expanded, showing the commitment that Iraq has given to this project and making a significant impact on global scholarship. To achieve these ambitions, Iraq has set several key strategic goals: standardizing academic publishing practices, good place to start, raising Iraq journals to meet those international standards, and facilitating indexing for global visibility. We're proud to report that by August of 2025, Iraq's efforts have resulted in the successful expansion of this project from those original 18 journals to 48 journals and counting. This dramatic growth underscores their commitment to the quality and the international recognition. Supporting this growth are key tools and platforms. Iraq's adoption of digital commons has been instrumental in standardizing those publication practices and providing a robust peer review system, as well as plagiarism detection, DOI minting, and typesetting. Additionally, our strategic advising services really has helped ensure that the journals adhere to those publishing standards across the board, such standards that are laid out by COPE's guidelines, and serving to further elevate the journal's credibility and visibility, a large step towards that creating that ecosystem that they're after. But you don't have to take my word for it. Dr. Hayder has provided a lovely quote for us here. The Iraqi Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research, we are dedicated to amplifying the voices of our talented researchers. Through a collaboration with Digital Commons, we aim to elevate the visibility and impact of the Iraqi scientific journals, showcasing the remarkable contributions of our scholars to the global scientific community. And I have to say that's something that I really think about a lot, and I hear from my team a lot about amplifying the voices of those journals out into the wider world. So, what does the current project look like these days? We have a good timeline here. Starting in August of 2023, we launched the original 18 journals. This was the core group from Iraq's higher education institutions. They established that foundation, and it's also where we established the foundation of our workflow with them. This is where the new concept of having a project leader who would be kind of the bird's eye view and point of contact with the ministry came into play. This is where Dina would be able to provide that overview of how many journals, how are they doing with the implementation plans, while also supporting some journals herself. But we were still able to then keep an individual consultant for each of the journals so that we can keep building that continued relationship that we care so much about in Digital Commons. Here we go. And then our strategic advisors simultaneously were starting to lay down the plans of each individual journal's indexing goals, as well as the digital infrastructure that we needed to make sure was ready for all of those indexing goals. In 2024, we expanded, we added 11 more journals. This was a little bit of broader participation. There were now public institutions and private institutions. This really strengthened that networking that Iraq was after as far as a national ecosystem. And it also brought in more policy alignment between our teams, where we were now working with wider groups and different policies. The capacity was also becoming more, where the editors were learning more. And now in 2025, the program has grown to 48 journals from a diverse national network. We have hit national stage in Iraq. And actually in October, this October of 2025, the ministry held their first higher education conference where Islam presented virtually as well. The ministry continues to build on the momentum that they started with those original 18 journals. So we're excited to see where we go from there. Looking ahead, the results from the program are promising. Between 2023 and 2025, these journals have garnered approximately 200,000 downloads with 2,000 cited documents in Scopus, and we'll round up and say 200 countries across the globe. This demonstrates that increasing reach. It certainly shows that they have entered the global stage. All right, that was the overview, but what are the details of how did they achieve this? The goal was to standardize academic publishing practices. The method that got them there was a pretty comprehensive technology-enabled publishing framework that was anchored in Digital Commons and then guided by our strategic advising support. We implemented Editorial Manager, which, as you know, is a very robust peer-to-review system that also has integrated iThenticate plagiarism checks to make sure that the integrity and the timely decisions are happening, which if you were at our workshops earlier, you may have heard is a very important thing to some of the high indexes that we are trying to get into. We established and maintained DOIs with CrossRef through our Digital Commons sponsored minting tools. And we also leveraged advanced reviewer tools like the Find Reviewer in Scopus and external networks to improve reviewer quality. And of course, we raised their production quality by putting them on the same typesetter. They are able to have standard compliant designs across the board that are also accessibility compliant on their policy pages, which I'm very excited to have heard from Pramita earlier in the conference. And so I imagine we're going to start seeing a lot more modern journal designs in the future. Together, we addressed some infrastructure that was providing them that stable site to rely on. The 99.9% uptime is something that I've always enjoyed about our sites. So I was really pleased to see that we're continuing with that. We defined the transparent journal policies, which is probably the first step on that journey towards indexation, and the submission requirements that we're aligning with the COPE guidelines. And of course, our strategic advisors have been giving and continue to give impact reports to each and individual journal. These reports are incredibly detailed and amazingly comprehensive. So each journal receives an impact report that goes into their editorial performance, which includes submission rate, rejection rate, etc., and then also tracks their publications, their diversity, their visibility, and indexation. So if you've spoken to Islam at all, you can know that he is very detail-oriented, and so this has helped each and every one of the journals. And then, of course, we ensure that index readiness is the top priority for the global visibility. Part of this has been through standardized and structured metadata, as you can see here with the Iraq Journal of the Computer Science and Mathematics. This is an already indexed journal in Scopus and DOAJ, but the advantage here is that they now have their team to continue to guide them to make sure that they will match every check that comes their way. In short, it was people, processes, and technology that's combined to standardize the practices across the Iraq journals. This laid the foundation for broader indexing and for that worldwide reach. Together with the editor's commitment, that is what has been key to getting this to continue forward. But what's ahead? So we're going to continue with the main goal of facilitating indexing and global discoverability for the journals. But this is a goal that is a marathon and not a sprint. It's going to take sustained, continual effort from us and collaborative effort with the editors and the ministry in order to meet those goals. We anticipate another phase of journals in 2026, and I'm eagerly looking forward to find out what titles we get to onboard. From there, this year, we also initiated new Arabic typesetting. This was a need that the team was hearing from the editors and that we were able to pivot and make sure that we provided for them, which lifted some of the workload from the editors themselves, and then also provided that very professional, streamlined appearance across the board, which may open more opportunities for other journals in 2026. And of course, our strategic advisors are continuing to look forward to building more of their webinars and workshops in order to build that editorial capacity and the information that the editors have available to them. If you were at our workshop earlier in the week, that was just a small sampling of the comprehensive and amazing content and energy that they put into those workshops for the editors themselves. It's my hope that with this combined effort and journals listening to their strategic advisors and their consultants, that we will start to see many, many more successes for the journals in the years to come. Overall, I'm very impressed and I'm continually amazed by the efforts that have been put in. Iraq's journey from vision to impactful scholarly publishing has been truly inspiring, watching them grow and continue to grow. Their strategic approach has been combined with digital commons support, which has transformed the research landscape in Iraq itself. And I thank you for your attention.